hello! I'm Chris Eads, better known online as Wootini, here with another one of my gay gamer video podcasts. I want to start with a couple of quick movie reviews. I went to see Uncharted. I saw it in IMAX, though I feel like it should have been in 3D and they just decided not to convert it, because there were many shots and scenes in the film where I thought, oh, that was clearly meant to be shown in 3D, like things coming at the camera and lots of swooping, and I was like, oh, I wish this had been in 3D. Because if it had been in 3D, I might have found it more enjoyable. Not to say it was bad. It was just fine. Like, it was adequate, which is kind of disappointing, because I wanted it to be like this fun, amazing adventure. And it was just sort of like, okay, that was fine. Like, the actors are fine, except for Marky Mark, because he's not Sully. I'm sorry. I think part of my problem with the movie is that it's an origin story, so, like, Nate is very young, and Sully is too young, and he doesn't feel like Sully to me. So it doesn't quite work. I did appreciate the couple of scenes of gratuitous Tom Holland toplessness. But it didn't quite feel like Uncharted to me. Like, because he's just met Sully, so he doesn't trust him, so there's this whole back and forth of like, I don't trust you, you don't trust me, nobody trusts each other. And that gets tiresome after a while. It's a 2-hour movie. After the hour, I was like, oh my god, just frickin' trust each other already. And so, like, in the end credits, there's an epilogue that, like, is basically like a sequel tease, where it feels a little more like Uncharted, because they're working together, and they have a rapport, and it's like, okay, fine. But it's fine. Like, the stunts are fine, the effects are good, it's just sort of, it's not bad. It was, like, kind of disappointing, because it was just, like, average. It was just sort of like, yes, that was a movie that I just saw, and it was fine, and I enjoyed watching it, but I don't need to see it again. On the other hand, I also saw Jackass Forever, and oh my god, I haven't laughed that hard in so long. I can't even remember the last time I laughed that hard, and I needed it. Like, right now, you need a good laugh, and that was it for me. I just laughed nonstop. It's hilarious. I mean, obviously, if it's the kind of thing you enjoy, which I enjoy slapstick, so watching people fall down and get hurt and do stupid things will always be funny. Granted, the Jackass guys are getting a little old, so now they have, like, the next generation, and they got a bunch of younger idiots to hurt themselves, with mixed results. Some are good and some are meh, but, whatever. It's still funny as hell. And, it's just funny to see, like, the crazy shit that they decide to try to do and to put on screen, and, like, who would think of such a thing? Also surprising is, you don't expect to see that much male nudity, but you do. I love Jackass Forever, and when that shows up on, Paramount Plus, I would expect, definitely enjoy that, because it's freaking hilarious, and everybody could use a good laugh these days. As for games, obviously, I am playing the hell out of Horizon Forbidden West. To my surprise, I feel like I'm actually making decent progress in the game, because I'm not using photo mode as much as I would have expected to. Not that photo mode is bad. The only feature I think that I wish the photo mode had was adding grain. I like grain in my photos. That's just me. But the problem that I'm having with the Horizon Forbidden West photo mode is that a lot of times I go to take a picture and I can't move the camera or adjust the camera at all. And I'm just like, well, no, this isn't going to work for me. Like, I did a cool stealth kill on an enemy soldier, and I couldn't move out of the bush to show the cool stealth kill because it wouldn't let me move the camera. And it seems to be in settlements and camps and things, like in Plainsong, which is like a settlement with like this big winding organic structure. Couldn't take any pictures inside, even though you're technically outside because you're like on a bridge and a platform, so you're technically outside, but you still can't move the camera. Unless you're on the very top level, in which case, yes, then you can move the camera. And I was like, oh, I can move the camera. And I took a picture of, like, the guy selling potions. Because I was like, whatever. But, like, it's super weird because it's not an indoor thing. Because I did a cauldron, and I was able to take a picture of myself overriding the terminal. And I'm just like, okay, so what is this deal? I can't quite figure out why I can't manipulate the camera in photo mode in certain places. It's very annoying. But it means that I've made decent progress in the game, and I'm still trying to figure out what weapons and armor I like best. I tend to skew towards the bow and arrows. I have a lot of those in my main inventory because, like, as soon as I got a bow and arrow that had frost arrows, I was like, yes, now I can use frost arrows, because the frost bombs, I don't like the sling that throws the frost bombs. It's not easy to aim, and I don't feel like you get enough distance, and I was like, meh. So I prefer my bows and arrows, but they keep throwing all these new gadgets and weapons at me, and I'm like, I feel like I should try them out, maybe. And I was also going with armor that had, like, the armor bonuses that I wanted, like health bonuses, like let you carry more potions and berries and whatnot. But then I decided I was going to switch to the Utaro stealth armor because it had good stealth bonuses. But then the problem with that is that as much as I would like to stealth kill the machines, that usually only works in big groups. It only works on like the first one or two if you're lucky, and then they all descend on you, and then it becomes a melee fight. So once I had the machine part I needed to buy the Karja Shadow Armor, it looks really bitchin'. I bought that because that had good stats. I had to stop looking at bonuses and just be like, I need high defense against all the different kinds of attacks. So, and then of course, I had to go in plain song there's a dyer right near where I bought the armor, and I immediately went over and said, hey, I've been collecting all these stupid plants for dyers, so can you change this into a better color? At first I went with green, but then I changed my mind and I decided to switch that to red, because the red looks a little cooler. But it's just, you know, that's a good overall defensive armor, because I always end up in melee fights. But I have been doing the main story quest to try to get more gadgets and things, because I keep stumbling across things that I can't do yet because I don't have whatever gadget I need to do that particular thing. Although I am doing more side quests, main side quests now, not like just exploring off on my own, because that's where you run into the problems. I've been doing more of the main side quests just to keep leveling up so that I can stay a little ahead of where I am, where I'm supposed to be for the main story. Because also I don't want to go back. I like to stay a little bit ahead in general in games like this, just so that it's not as hard. If I'm a couple levels ahead, it could be a little easier. But also, I don't want to later go back and try to like finish off some old side quests and errands and be like level 45 and doing a level 10 and just... Although that could be fun too, because then you just swat your way through it and it's super easy. But I'd like to give myself a little bit of a challenge. Also, when you see, like, when you have these conversations and someone's like, oh my god, like, my wife is missing and they won't look for her anymore, can you please help me? I feel like I want to go and do that right now because, you know, the world can wait. I need to help this guy find his wife and solve the mystery of her disappearance and stuff. So, like, there's that weird... I know it doesn't matter, and you can go back and do it at any time, and nothing will change. And, you know, the missing hunter that you go find will still be hiding in that spot, even if you do it at the end of the game. But I wanted to help these people. I feel bad for them. But I will say that during this main story mission that I did, which was like really long, because it was like basically setting up the rest of the game, the structure and the story and the missions that you're the main missions that you'll go on to get the other pieces of Gaia and all. It introduced a story twist that it concerns me. I'm not going to say anything for the people who are, I don't know who's behind me. I'm very slow, so everybody should be ahead of me. But in case some of you decided you wanted to play Elden Ring instead, and you're going to play this after, I don't want to spoil anything, even though it is introduced earlier on in the plot. I'm just concerned because I like this world. I like that Aloy's trying to save this world. I like the tribes and the environments and how this world is set up. The world of Horizon I find fascinating and I want to explore it. And now they've added in this new wrinkle that it's expanding the world, but, which I get, you want to do that in a sequel, is you want to expand. You don't want to just be more of the same. You want to expand it. But I feel like they might be expanding it in a way that I won't like. But we will see how the story progresses and how things go from here. I have every faith. This is a very well-written series, so I have every faith, fingers crossed, that it doesn't ruin things. But we'll see. And with that note, come back next episode and see if I've done any more of the story or if I'm still just saving people. See you then. Bye!